I'm Bob Darwin. I'm the son of Jack Darwin, who worked in various managerial positions here at Firestone Textiles. My dad began his employment here at Firestone in Gastonia in November of 1943. That was at the height of World War II, and he retired July the 1st of 1976. He worked entirely in the administrative office capacities. He was part of the management team. I worked here in the summer of 1966, just before I left to go to Duke University to begin my undergraduate studies. And at that time I worked in the machine shop, which was down on the very lower level of the plant, and I was classified as a bench mechanic at the time. Basically my job consisted of running a drill press, and it was very repetitive and so forth. We manufactured and repaired various metal components of all of the machinery and the equipment that was here. In regards to the working conditions here at the plant back in the 1960s, I can certainly say first and foremost in the summers when I was here, it was hot. It was very, very hot, and word was that up on the 5th floor, particularly on some summer afternoons, the temperature would get above 120 degrees. The mill was a real bustling center of activity always. The machines made quite a bit of noise when they were in operation. In fact, for a good distance outside of the plant, you could hear the hum or the roar of the machinery. So it was hot, it was dirty, it was greasy, it was oily. There was a lot of lint in the air, dust in the air, the smell of new fabric. Community is actually an extremely good word to use to describe the nature of the situation here around Firestone. It truly was a community. It was almost a brotherhood. There was a lot of camaraderie among the workers. A lot of lifelong friendships were formed. It was very much like family. People looked out for each other. People were interested in each other. And one thing that always stood out for me was the respect that existed within the community amongst all members of the community. Of course, my parents worked hard to instill certain values in their children, but all of that was very strongly reinforced by the association with Firestone and the Firestone community here. As I mentioned, there were many, many people who were very hard workers here. The work here was hard, it was repetitive, it was physically difficult on the production lines, but there was a real strong work ethic. And I think that helped to develop my own work ethic. I learned a lot about loyalty and dedication, a lot about integrity, the importance of honesty in all aspects of your life, not only at work, but outside of the work scene. I developed a sense of the importance actually of friendships and camaraderie on the job because I noticed how important that was to the people who worked here. Some of my parents' closest friends over the years were fellow Firestone employees, and there were friendships that lasted their entire lives. The first thing when I walked in here after the renovations was nostalgia. There were just a ton of memories that flooded forth. And then the second thing was absolute amazement at what has been done. I think the facility is absolutely beautiful, and the fact that they've been able to repurpose this great facility is wonderful.